Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Warin Ratchananusorn from Digital Economy Promotion Agency, and it's my pleasure today to share some initiatives and some supporting program that we have for the startup and what we have contributed in the startup ecosystem so far during the last several years in Thailand. So before going through the presentation, when we talk about the government, when you hear about the government that support a startup, I believe the impression would be that we are slow. We do not really supporting because of the mechanism that we have, the process that we have, or the paperwork that you have to go through. But what we are doing right now is that we are transforming ourselves as well. We pass through this e-government to the digital government era, and we try to be more data-driven, user-driven, try to engage all the stakeholders, private sectors, startup, and all other organizations that we try to working together to make some initiatives that really support the startup. So there are policy, mechanism, and sandbox that we have been working on, and to facilitate to ease of the doing business of the startup. So what I am going to show you today is some part will be the mechanism that provided by depa, but I try to cover the whole picture, the whole landscape of the startup support from the government side in Thailand. This picture is so familiar for you, I am quite sure. It's the growth of the startup from the pre-seed to seed to growth to exit. And the yellow part, that is the valley of death that we all know about that. When the startup, they try to develop the product that fit to the market until the growth stage. And we all know that there are a lot of VCs, CVC, and other investment institutes that are main player in this part already, because it's the low risk area that for investment. So in Thailand, startup is quite new term for us. We just know this about 10 years ago. I could say that, and we realized that the way of the growth of the startup, the way of doing business are quite different from SMEs, different from the corporate. So startup needs different way of the support that really can meet with their business, the way of doing business, and meet with their requirement. So what government has been doing is that we initiate the support for startup business from the pre-seed to the seed, especially for the pre-seed that we start the Startup Thailand campaign about 8 to 10 years ago. We try to build the ecosystem, try to get into the startup ecosystem from building the entrepreneurship mindset, provide some funding in the seed stage so that they can develop their product, they can go to the market. There are agencies that actively working on this. You may be familiar with that: NIA, National Innovation Agency, TED Fund, PMUC, or NASDA. They're mainly focusing on supporting startup in this stage. So for depa, we are quite new organization actually. We established just about 6 years ago, and that's why we have quite flexible laws and regulation that we can do the real investment in startup. Not like other agencies that they provide funding as the reimbursement, but we do real investment that we give money first, and then the startup can choose that they will return us the money or give us a share. So it's kind of convertible loan. So depa see the gap in that area between the seed to growth, and the funding here is mainly for as the bridge investment, so the startup can get to build more traction, to develop the product further, to do the market expansion until they reach the next investable round by the investor. That's the idea of the work done by depa. And this is the picture of the government support landscape so far. So let me tell a bit more about depa, the whole idea that we support a startup. The main mission of us is to transform Thailand toward digital economy. So our keyword is transform, and we see the startup on the left-hand side as the supply side that have innovation, have technology to help other sector to transform towards the smart city and towards the digital economy. So the supporting program of us are mainly the funding that I mentioned already, that we have funding for early stage, growth stage. And we also have capacity building program that to make the new startup to the pipeline so that we can invest in. And for those who can run the business already, they can join other programs that we build the market for them, such as accelerator program that we work with the city, work with the corporate to develop the smart city. So the startup can provide a solution and join this program. And on the right hand side, the startup at depa, they are eligible to be the digital provider. So they can get the benefit for their customer that we build the demand side of the SME, farmers, community to use their product. And by providing the voucher so that they use the money to buy the product from startup, so both of them grow together. That's the idea that how we build the demand side and supply side for digital economy system. And these are the landscape of the portfolio that we invest in. Already more than 130 startups, and some of them are in this area. Locate Nation and Food Dia over there, and the Hop car is there near the EV, in the EV section. And other support is about the government procurement, because the procurement by the government is quite complicated. There's a bidding process, everything has to be transparent. So we try to provide some benefit for the startup that register with us if they can pass or if they can be certified for 3 areas in the safety, functionality, and security. So they get some trust mark, and then the government agency can directly procure them. So that's the idea how we build the program to support the startup. And this just launched 2 days ago. Actually, it's quite new initiative that we worked on. Another thing, this capital gain tax would be very useful for investor and also startup. This one was launched in December, so the startup and investor can get benefit of the tax from the capital gain. So when they have investment round, when they sell or buy the shares, so they can get this benefit. And right now there are depa, NIA, and NASDAQ that they can certify the startup, and then the revenue department will provide this benefit for the startup. And now we have certified about 40 startups already during the last 2 months so far. And also, about Smart Visa, I believe many of you have known about this already, that Thailand also has Smart Visa program that you can register if you are a startup, talent, executive, or investor. So for the startup, you can get up to 6 months for the first time applying for Smart Visa, so you don't have to do the visa run. And after that, if you start your business, register business in Thailand, then you can apply for 2 more years Smart Visa. So that would be really useful for you. And the certifying agency are depa, NIA, and NASDAQ as well. So if your application are in the digital area, then the application will come to us, and we are certifying body that we work with the BOI to approve for the approval process. And one last thing I would like to tell about initiative of from Thailand to support a startup is this. The Thailand Digital Valley is an innovation area in eastern part of Thailand in the Eastern Economic Corridor. And that area is promoted by the BOI and EEC office to provide a lot of benefit for business starting there or register there. For example, The company registered in that area can get up to 13 years income tax exemption. So it's like 8 years plus 5 years with some condition. And the personal income tax, if your salary reaches to some level, is flat rate at 17%. Yeah, and there will be a lot of infrastructure because that area we will promote the investment by the corporates, by companies abroad to do infrastructure to build the ecosystem there in the very near future. This one planned to be finished in 3 years. Right now, building 1 and 2 are finished already, and there's already full of the tenants. Okay, so I think that's all that I have short time to share about some supporting program that we have from the government, and I will be in this event in the afternoon as well. So if you have any program that you're interested in, I am happy to share more information to you. Thank you so much.